This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Mark Sale, the CEO of First Class Metals, following news that the company has signed an agreement with On Gold Investment Corp regarding the Pickle Lake property in Ontario. The property consists of 163 single-cell mining claims adjacent to FCM's North Hemlock property and Palladium One's Tyko project. And First Class Metals have identified 11 high-priority targets on the property from previous work, and the RNS states that FCM's expansion in the area strengthens its presence in a district with several high-grade nickel, copper, sulfide discoveries. So thank you very much for joining us today, Mr. Sale. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Mark, and it's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Indeed. Well, could you provide more details about why you wanted to expand your footprint in the West Pickle Lake area, how this deal came about, and what the agreement entails? How is the agreement structured?
We wanted to expand because North Hemlock is our flagship property. It's got a gold bias, but of course, with the association with Palladium One, there's the base metal, the battery metal aspect to it as well. Good large land holdings are always more favourably looked upon by any pursuer, shall we say. So we're building up what is now well over 100 square kilometre land package, which is not just focused on gold. Yes, we have the Dead Otter in the south, we have the Palladium One in the northeast, but now we have the potential of a mixed, potentially base metal and gold play annexed to us to the north. The deal itself is a very simple deal. We have the right to earn 80% over 3 years. It's a paper deal. We've given them 1 million first-class shares, which, again, I think is a really good optic for the market. The fact is we're not parting with cash. B, that On Gold feel confident in our ability to forward their ground and are happy to share in the winnings, shall we say, through FCM shares. The actual work commitment, again, there's no stage payments. There's just this one-off first payment of 1 million shares. And thereafter, it's $300,000 Canadian dollars expenditure over 3 years, with only 50,000 in the first year. So the first year is quite light on. We deliberately did it that way because we are focusing on the Dead Otter trend, bringing that to drill-ready status. So we didn't want to, A, divert too much of our efforts to the north, and B, we didn't want the market thinking, oh, hold on, what's happened to Dead Otter? Why are they going off further to the north? So it was strategically structured that way so that we can do some work there, we can build up to it, but it doesn't take the focus away from Dead Otter.
Right, okay. And what about the high gold grades in the Winter Lake sediment sampling? And how would that impact the overall prospectivity of the area?
Well, I have to admit that was a bit of a curveball. And when I was talking with Bruce about that, and he said to me, he says, Mark, that's the highest lake sediment sample I know of outside the Hemlock mine area. It was quite phenomenal. And it was an order of magnitude higher than the next highest one, which was still anomalous. And I've spoken with Al and Bobby who took it, and they tell me it's quite a small lake that they took it from. So, yes, it would be remiss of us not to get back in there as soon as we have the manpower to do so and do some prospecting. So we will be looking at that as soon as possible. But you know the way I work, staged, systematic exploration as opposed to bushfire type, running from one project or one prospect to another. So yes, it will be quite high up in the priorities when we get on the ground on the On Gold area. But it will form part of a systematic approach. And I think we have to, whilst laud the gold result, we have to be cognizant of the fact that some of the mag anomalies that have been identified could represent more conductive base metal targets. So, as I say, there is a mixture there on the property at this stage.
A mixture, yeah. So you could be, obviously you've got the gold credits there already shown up in samples, but potential, is it nickel and copper as well?
Well, I can't say that's a given, but from the geophysics that's been conducted, the likelihood is that we've got some conductive targets that need to be chased.
Okay, and of course this is all following the Dead Otter Lake Trend, isn't it? Which is,
that remains our focus. I mean, we've had people out at Hemlo for 6 weeks now following that trend. I think in previous news releases, I put it's discontinuous. It's now becoming less discontinuous, shall we say, which we've got probably 200 samples in the lab we're waiting to get the results from. Yes. So that is our focus on the North Hemlock block.
So it's an opportunity then to secure this package of land for, what looks on the surface to be good prospectivity.
Absolutely. It was a no-brainer. And we recently, it was in a press release a month or so ago, we picked up another 21 claims ourselves, which actually filled in a gap between On Gold and North Hemlock. So whereas it would have been contiguous without those 21 claims, it's now very contiguous, if that's an accurate description.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Well, of course, we are in the field season. I know you were out there. We did an interview when you were lacking a certain amount of blood, I think, from all the mosquitoes that were pestering you whilst you're out in the field. But where's the focus been? You say you're waiting on sampling results. What are things looking like from, if you could sum up at the moment, the state of the field season, and if you have formulated any exploration plans for existing properties, or indeed building upon the work conducted by On Gold on the deal announced recently?
Well, I'm actually going back out there in 10 days, Mark. And the reason I'm going out there is obviously just to review and catch up on what's going on at Dead Otter, but also I hope that we will be initiating the stripping on the Sunbeam project. We intend to do stripping at Sunbeam, Roy and Pettigrew, with an idea of increasing our geological structural knowledge in order that we can mount a small drill program, as we've always said we hoped to this field season.
Right, okay, but it's yet to be decided on which property.
Yes, I mean, people ask me which the priority is, but I think the priority is determined by which one we're in a position to do, whether that's logistically, bureaucratically, or geologically.
Okay.
I mean, I would hope that we will be drilling at Sunbeam and also Dead Otter this season.
Perfect. Okay, well, I'm hopefully you can confirm or at least give more light on that situation in sort of 10 days' time. When you go out again, we can hopefully do another catch-up from site. But for now, thank you very much for your time, Mark Sale, CEO of First Class Metals.
Thank you, Mark. Take care. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.